Traverse City as well Saturday? Or no?
No, he had called me, like, that was right after it happened, and just said, hey, Dad, this happened, and stuff like that, and he was telling me, and I'm like, badass, man, good deal, good job, you know? And then, it was like, then I got a video of it, and he sent me, and then it just blew up, and I'm like, holy shit, and so, yeah. So he was, and we always stayed, because we always talk, because I retired from law enforcement, so we're always talking about guns and, shit like that. So, yeah, 100% proud of him. I mean, it surprised me as to what happened, but I'll be honest with you, it didn't surprise me as to what he did. He's always been like that, always,
Enforcement over here or somewhere else?
Here.
Grand Rapids?
Yeah, Kent County.
Okay.
I retired from Kent County Sheriff, and then I own a business now. I own a private investigative business.
Very cool.
My office is here. That's why. So you were in a boat yesterday?
Yeah, I was on the Coast Guard cutter for freighted ships.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, you didn't have to go down. Well, Brooks, I know Brooks from Brooks.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he, I did this, but I didn't know what he had already had planned.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was trying to favor anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
I put it out, and I thought it would be just easier to do it this way when it went out. And then Brooks got kind of pissed at me, and I'm like, sorry.
No.
I was going to call you yesterday, but I thought, I'll wait. I'll see you today.
Yeah. No, I mean, everything is. He was cool with it today.
Okay, because he said, well, this is going to be old news tomorrow, and I'm like, nah, I doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I talked to him this morning. He was pretty chill. I mean, yesterday he was a little irritable. But
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of like the hustle and bustle, like everything going on too. And,
Yeah. I get it, but like I said, I didn't know what he had already had scheduled.
Yeah.
I didn't know what he had planned and everything.
well, and like seeing, because after you sent us the video this weekend, CNN was just like blowing us up, and like that started getting everybody kind of like anxious, like whoa, hey, and then there was the 500,000 views on YouTube already within the first like 6 hours, I think, of it being posted on our socials. Yeah.
I sent it to you, right?
Yeah, appreciate that.
You're not pissed at me.
No, yeah.
I mean, me and you we get along good in Iowa.
Well, I was gonna say too, another person called me on Aaron.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So this will be the third person of the year and the second person of the year to drop out on me because they read all the previous stories. So, because they specifically said, I want him threatening me. And I said, I promise you he's not going to do that. But,
Let me know if you need anything.
yeah. I just need to go to jail, get this over with.
What's that?
I just need to go to jail,
Yeah.
get this over with.
He has warrants right now, right?
Yeah.
I talked to the undersheriff yesterday because
Okay.
they have to do elimination prints on him
Hmm.
and because he touched a knife, so he was going to have to go all the way back up to Traverse City, and I said, well, let's just get a hold of the department here, and
Yeah.
we'll coordinate here to get your prints done and send them up there. So, like,
What do you mean eliminate? Oh, so
because
like,
he touched the knife, so they have to know everybody who touched that knife. So.
oh, gotcha, okay. I was to Brooks just meet at Ed's office, and I was like, okay. And I was on my way to your old Grand Rapids office.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm just gonna give him a call and make sure that I'm not going to the Grand Rapids office.
Yeah, I thought I had told you, but
I was like,
and I put it on.
I was
I put
pretty
it
sure.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure he told me. That's why I was like second guessing myself, because I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure he told me he moved out of there.
Yeah, I'm here now. I like this place a lot better. Plus, I got divorced.
Yeah, yeah. You told me that
Yeah.
last time, a few months ago. out to you guys.
When your video hit, my phone, it was just because you put the credit on.
Yeah.
So I mean, CNN, NBC, everybody, so, then Chris is the one that filmed it. So, I mean, it was just like, okay, here's this one. It was all weekend, But everybody, I think everybody's reached out.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to do this today.
Yeah.
Just do this.
Get all these over with.
Yeah, because they both work. So,
Yeah. Talk about this in the interview, but why was it in Traverse City?
Vacation.
Oh,
His
okay.
family.
And is Chris from Grand Rapids?
Yep, Chris is from Grand Rapids, his brother-in-law.
Okay.
So this guy really had some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dating back, I mean, he was digging up graves, I guess.
Yeah. I saw a Facebook post earlier today on it was like his childhood friend from like Kolakowski was like talking about like some of the events that led up to him having
Yeah.
his mental issues.
Yeah, something about drugs and locking him in
Yeah.
a car.
That's what I read.
It's too bad, but mental illness is so. I think a lot of it is you get these people that have mental illness, but there's such a stigma to it.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I was I worked at the sheriff's department, you tell people, hey, you know what? This is no different than having cancer. If you have cancer, you get treatment. Mental illness is the same thing. You got a disease, you get treatment, you'll be okay. Find something that works. But this is what happens when
Yeah.
you don't get the treatment.
Sounds like he's wrapping up.
Yeah.
Well, holy cow. We gotta move over this way.
How's it going for you guys?
Tired. Oh, yeah. I want to get a picture of the house. So no one thinks I'm lying. Right? You got it.
All right, so this is probably just gonna go.
Who do we have in here? I mean, who's all here?
We're WZZM, Press,
Okay.
Detroit Free Press.
I worked for the press, Grand Rapids Press, 20-something years ago.
You might know this guy. He's been there for.
I was a driver when we were still delivering papers.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I beat you. I
Those
was,
were the days.
I was a paper boy.
I did that too.
Yeah, I did too.
Rode my scooter.
And then New Channel 3 and then Fox 17.
Yeah, 17.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it's probably like how you guys have been doing for the past 48 hours.
Yeah. I'm pretty overwhelmed with phone calls and hopefully these phone calls and your text messages, emails, or Facebook, and
Well, I try to listen, I guess,
yeah.
I didn't expect for everything to happen this way
No.
at all. I'm just great it ended up the way it did, and still tired, like still feel like the tension in my body, like being like everything's tight right now, still on an edge. It's been hard to sleep, but I'll get through it.
Yeah.
You're sleeping like a rock.
No.
No, you said you were. Rock. I was like, I don't think so.
No, the first night I didn't sleep at all. And, I mean, I tossed and turned. Every night I've been tossing and turning.
Yeah.
too much going through my head.
Yeah, definitely the first night was the worst night.
It was just like after my accident. That's all I could think about. I could visualize it. Now I'm visualizing a guy stabbing people.
Yeah.
Thinking that, I overthink things. I think, man, we could have been 20 seconds ahead, and who knows, we would have got shanked.
Yep.
So.
Still just been home, helping, checking on my daughter. She's only 13. She hasn't said too much lately, and her friend Malaya, they were there. I keep talking about people that were in the store and all the kids that were in the store.
Yeah.
And that bothers me with the trauma that they all get.
Yeah.
And,
especially like the mother I seen with her 2 children, and they were crying. That was a tough one.
Yeah, that was a lot of blood.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were up in Traverse City on vacation, you just talked about the folks that were in the store having to go through that trauma,
Mm-hmm.
for the community up there that kind of relies on a lot of like summer tourism, people coming up, how do you hope they kind of stay together and kind of, overcome what that community is going through right now?
I just hope that they've seen a good example of what we should be doing as a community to help each other.
Yes.
And not let this type of violence affect us.
But it changes everyone's lives at the same time.
But don't be afraid to help control the situation if you really love your community. I mean, I know you got family and stuff, but just be aware of your surroundings for sure. I hope and pray that this is a learning lesson for everybody, that your head should be on a swivel no matter where you're at. Nobody thinks this is going to have a beautiful city like Traverse City. That's, vacation spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that guy lived up for a while, so, but they were looking for him, and it's just we need more awareness of where we're at.
Yes.
Can you just tell the story on what happened?
Yeah, so we just arrived Saturday morning, maybe before noon, you think? Or just
Yeah,
after
we
noon?
went to that restaurant right around noon.
Yep.
Or 11, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we got Travel Lodge Hotel. We got our rooms.
Just before 3.
Yep, and we were like, okay, well, we need supplies because we were renting a pontoon out there, or turned to be a tri-toon, which is nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful tri-toon, and we went to we were, if we were going to Myers or Walmart or what. When he looked up a Walmart right around the corner, so let's head up Walmart, for fishing poles, pop, beverages, food, snacks for the kids. We did our shop and had a good time. They actually felt like we were in there a little too long.
Yeah.
Looking through my wife's list of things that she wanted, random things like a rope and some blow up tubes and pop, and so we were in. My daughter, she wanted like a bikini bottom. I just sent my daughter and her friend to the women's section, and they were probably away for like 15, 20 minutes in there walking around
Even
by
longer.
themselves.
We were talking to the elderly vet too.
Yep. So we weren't rushing it, and we were expecting, maybe after Walmart we'll go down and do mini golf or something, or go eat again. And cashier eventually.
Yeah.
To her, thank you very much. And as we were just exit way towards the door, we saw a Walmart employee running up the center aisle in the back behind the checkouts, and he's got a knife. And as he turned around, he was like, "Get out of here!" A mass wave of just blood-curdling screams from the back of the store that was rushing forward, like somebody had it was like a wave of screams.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see through the displays, like you had those gaps, and you could kind of see through them. I seen like a lot of motion every which way, but I seen one thing that just kept coming through, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this. And he locked eyes on us, literally, like looked left, had the knife. It was just like a movie.
Yeah, it looked like it was running
Weirdly,
awkwardly too.
And so I yelled, my daughter, I don't know if I was pushing the cart or you were pushing the cart.
For some reason, I think I was.
Either way, I yelled at my daughters, and I said, my daughter and her friend, I said, stay here. And I just took off running after them. And as I came around the corner, I can remember his like trying to slash somebody, or he got him in the shoulder. So I'm like, I don't have a weapon. I'm just going to grab an empty grocery cart. So I grabbed the empty grocery cart and I took off running. And right when I came to the exit of going outside, I just noticed him stab a woman in the, took his left hand and he just ran by her, elderly lady, and stabbed her right in the back, like lower side of the ribs here on the right side. And then all of a sudden, she went down and there was blood pouring out of her. And I couldn't have him. He kept trying to go straight, but he taken his knife from his left hand and shuffled it back to his right hand and turned around like he was going to get her again. And he had locked eyes with me at that time, and he saw me with the cart, and he tried to turn back around, and that's why I rammed him. I think he down, and he tried to get up and come at me, and then another guy with a cart hit him from the left side, and I tried hitting him, and then just kept pushing him back towards like the little cement area where the light pole's at. And I just said, I'm just going to try to smash him with the cart. So I tried to pick the cart up as high as I could and just smash it on top of him. But unfortunately, he got behind the light pole and then scrambled between two cars that were nose to nose. Mm-hmm. And at that point in time, I look over left and I see Derek in his white shirt and a pistol, and he's coming right at him, and he's commanding him to just stop, drop the knife, drop the knife, drop the knife. And that's when you see me in the video come around the back of the car and back him up. At that point in time, I had no idea who Derek was. I just knew that he was a man that's coming in with a pistol to control this situation, and he did a hell of a job. I commend him on so much for being the one to be able to pull that gun out at that time and, do what he had to do at the same time. That's when I came up next to him and I started yelling commands to drop the knife, drop the knife, drop the knife, and he didn't want to drop the knife. You could see he didn't want to. He was hesitating to do it, and he kept having it up, and then he kind of wanted to put it on top of the car and just drew it back, and then thought about it some more, and then slowly folded it, and when he set it down on the ground in front of him, I grabbed it, and that's when everybody thinks I had a cigarette in my hand or something, but no, it was the knife in my left hand. I was holding it like this, trying to keep it away, and I circled around the outside of him. I don't remember how he got put to the ground 100%, but I remember being on top of him afterwards and holding him there and yelling at him, don't you ever move, and he kept yelling. And I said, well, I'm a Marine, loudly yelled it, and he kind of stopped. More than 10 seconds after that, a deputy from up there came in. I heard him just coming in hot with a cruiser, and he just booked it right at us and jumped on him and had the rifle into his face, had both knees on him, and we got him flipped over. He tried to flip back, but then we got him back down, and then I held his legs for the deputy, and we detained him, and another deputy came up and grabbed him and brought him to the cruiser, emptied his pockets, and I still had the knife, so I walked the knife over to the cruiser and set it down. And the other deputy that came in hot with the rifle gave me 2 med packs and told me, he said, follow me. And so I followed him to the man that had a shoulder wound. His shoulder was just sliced wide open, so the officer put a tourniquet on here, and I was handing him the gauze and everything and breaking open the packs, and we tried to help the lady in the wheelchair, but she had plenty of help, but I was right there beside her. After that I just had to talk to the police, and it was just wild.
Yes.
In a previous interview, I believe you said that, I gotta check my notes here too for it, that in the parking lot you turned into someone that you hadn't met in a long time. I assume referring to your military service.
Yeah.
Who is that person?
There's a lot of, being a Marine, like, there's a lot that goes on. You end up, facing challenges even through, like, from boot camp to when you go to Iraq. You face challenges all throughout it, and you have to take them on head on. And so, back in the civilian world, you don't expect that. You're not waiting for it. But when it hits you, you gotta take it on. I guess what that means, or anybody that was never in the military, but your training kicks in, it'll turn on.
You ever had to help with an emergency like before?
Not a stabbing. One time when I was at Myers up in Spring Lake, there was a man that came in and had a heart attack right in front of us, and I assisted with that and helped. That was in Fort out in Muskegon, Myers, and he went down in the way, and I remember having to help get the carts away from him and spread them out, and stand by for CPR and stuff. But
you ever think back? Have you ever thought back to what if you had gone higher? What if you didn't end up going to that Walmart?
We wouldn't have been there. We actually figured out that everything we needed was right behind us too.
yeah,
We don't know Traverse City, so the place we were And we could have literally walked behind the building,
Yeah,
and everything was right there. That we needed fishing poles, food, everything.
You're talking a different.
There was,
right
there
around
was a
the other
strip
corner, we
mall
could walk.
behind it.
So we just drove to Meyer Walmart thinking that's where we needed to go.
Yeah, we had no idea. So we went to Walmart because it seemed to be about the only place that we could get everything we needed. Fishing poles and pop. And snacks.
A lot of people online have been calling you guys heroes. Do you think do you consider yourselves to be heroes?
I don't
Definitely
know.
he is. No doubt about that. What he did is not many people will ever build it. I mean, he took off like it was his job. It was his job to go get it finished, shut it down. I found him to help. He didn't need my help.
You had mentioned that, I think you said he was a soldier. And I don't know if you guys was cutting him off at certain points, you know, so and as an indigent defense lawyer, but also advised not to speak. But at, you know, one point he said, like, I didn't do what he said I did, or something along those lines. You know, having been so close to him in that moment, did you get I don't know if you got like a read or like if there's anything
First
going
thing
on
I
here.
thought he was just on, when I first exited the building, he actually said, like in defense of what he was doing, he said, everybody in there is bad and they all need to die, pretty much. That's what he was saying, getting at words. Everybody in Walmart are bad, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to help you right now. I watched you stab innocent people, so you're not, I don't know, you have no defense. And then when he was on the ground, he kept saying he was a soldier, and I didn't know what he was talking about at that point in time either until the next day or the third day or second day after, where they found out that he was a reborn again Christian, and he wrote a book, and mentally just not there. I mean, and I'm not saying anything about Christianity. I think he was thinking he was a soldier for whatever he was doing and whoever was telling him to do it.
A pretty terrible past. So there's a lot going on in that guy's head. I even watched Brain. That doesn't make any sense. Half the stuff he says. He apparently had to save up money for a lawyer. I'm like, how are you going to do that? I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't know him like that. Just appeared. I just tried to stop him.
You with Derek.
Yes.
Have you spoken to any of the victims or the victims'
No.
families reached out to you at all?
I have not, no.
Back to what Derek. I mean, he was also, you guys were a factor, and everybody was a factor in this,
definitely.
right?
Yeah, it was a team.
Even there's a couple.
What is that? What is that?
If you're leaving, you're checking. And there were left and looked at me and looked at us. His right forward, like he was trying as hard as he could to get out.
Seemed like it was.
Yeah, I guys at that point in time. So
Looked like he was with it.
he didn't know what was going on. He knew what he was doing, or maybe he didn't, but he was like everywhere. Parking lot, and you could see his eyes. Then it felt like his eyes were just bulging out, and he was panicking and didn't. Yeah, it didn't look normal. I thought he was on drugs, like for real.
I would have assumed drugs. Bad ones.
Yeah.
If Chris, you had, we would all be here in this room.
I'm guessing
talking
no.
about it.
I'm guessing no. I took that film because I thought they were going to kill him, and I figured video evidence would have been the smartest thing to have. I made the videotapes of this stuff. Whenever I'm live in action of something, I'm usually in it. But I seen at that period of time, I was like, all right, it's under control. If the guy swings at anybody, he's getting shot. It needs to be had. Just it wasn't for any sort of other reason, not at all. I was just should have.
I think that Bradford guy should be. Overwhelming. Very overwhelming. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to take it. It's not something you're used to. That's for sure.
Just to kind of go back to just a few minutes after everything kind of happened, he's in handcuffs now, right? You go back to your family. What are the conversations you guys are having with your families?
We basically talked about it all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wives, yes, when we got back there, 4 million questions. We're all talking about it. It was just like, it was surreal.
I want to commend my wife and your wife for on the news, the texts and everything, because that's so overwhelming for me. And we just passed our phones to our wives and like, you guys talk to them.
If it wasn't for them, you probably wouldn't know anything.
Yeah, we might have just been quiet the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know everyone on Sunday wanted interviews, and we were like, no, we're on the lake.
We were in Traverse City, and they wanted to come up there.
Told them to get a boat and come out here in the middle of the lake. We'll talk to you for a little bit.
Stand on the sandbar with us. We ended up having a beautiful day.
Oh yeah, for the most part it was beautiful. Other than the phones kept ringing.
But we want to go back up there next month for sure, 100%. We want to actually spend more time up there this time. Maybe bring more family.
Yeah, that was. I've never been there, even though I've been resident. I've been almost Michigan, just not there. So.
Are you guys here?
Grand Rapids
Yep.
area.
How many family members were there at the
Store?
with you guys? I mean, it's like a bunch of different families, or just your two families? Or?
His kids and his wife. And
I had 2 kids, and he had 2 kids, and I had my wife, and he had his wife. So.
Then when when you're back at the store, when your daughter was, you all heard her to go, but did you feel she was safe at that time? Or?
Yeah, we thought she was safe.
You talking about when she was going to look for stuff?
Or no, when you know that something's going on, and you said,
Stay
here.
Yeah.
Well, I knew Chris was right there too, and I knew my daughter's not dumb.
No.
She's very intelligent. Actually, she's 13 going on 30. But she knew what she was doing. She said she thought about following me, but said no, I'm gonna go the other door. And she did the right thing. She went the complete opposite direction of where the threat was at her age, and I feel like she's more visually traumatized by the screams, and I don't think she's seen much of a stabbing and much of the blood. There's a person she went from this door all the way to this door and all the way back around the outside of the parking lot. My daughter ran that way and went back to the truck. He could have been right there to meet
I know. I thought about that later on, and that could have been bad.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, he could have been right there to meet at the end of the parking lot because that was where he was headed.
Yeah.
Right towards where our truck was parked out.
And the number one thing is if he didn't go running out there, I would have anyone even known that that was the guy running through the parking lot. We don't know. I don't know how this would have turned out. So.
That's for sure.
Yes, you did. Yeah, when you tried to hit him with a shopping cart, looking like Hulk over there.
I didn't expect, like I said, I didn't know what it was doing. It was so quick.
It was the fastest.
I just wanted something to keep the distance between me and him that I could use as a weapon. That was a perfect example. You guys all know what it feels like to get hit in the ankles with a grocery cart. It's not.
Yeah, your kids do it,
Yeah.
But he did it like he was trying to kill him with a shopping cart. And he did fall down. He was having a hard time getting back up, so I'm sure his ankles are still hurting. So.
Go.
Is there anything that you want your kids to take away from what you did, Matthew?
My children, just know that I'll always be there to help you out and always try to protect you. And that always keep your head on a swivel. Even if I'm not there, for any kid, don't trust nobody or your surroundings unless you're not even in a classroom. I mean, just keep your eyes out. Just look. Nowadays these kids' eyes are buried in their phone all day long. And I'm not saying just kids, adults as well. You gotta keep your head on a swivel. And most people will watch this and say, okay, they'll get it now and then they'll just go back to normal later until something bad happens around them. And then, but I think everybody in that store and up there is gonna have a different perspective on what they're doing when they're out and about.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that store hasn't seen any bit of violence either before.
I'm never letting my daughter wander off in a store.
Yeah, that's definitely.
The legal process, intervening, do you expect to be like investigators or prosecutors?
I am. Yeah.
Call you to testify.
And if, but as of right now, there, and Dad, who's also a former detective for Kent County, retired, keeps in contact with procedures. I have to do like because my DNA is on the knife, so and I think Michigan State Police has to handle that one because they took over the scene. But
Touch the knife.
yep. And I didn't go. I didn't want. I got this from the state. I knew it. Everybody else's DNA was on that knife. That can all lead back to him. All of it. I know my DNA is on there, so I know I'm involved. All those people he stabs DNA is on there, so I know they're involved. I'm sure his DNA is on there. One. I said, I swear he slashed or dashed at a guy in the way. I don't know if he got him or he didn't get him. I saw was the elderly lady that took back
Under her.
and then they sat her when they were going to put that gauze on her. Just sticks with me is the amount of blood that was around her backside, where she was in the chair, just pooling up around her. It was bad. There was a lot of blood. Like I said, he had over blood.
And then there was more people. That's when I knew I seen a guy leaning up against like the pop display, and it looked like he was holding his shoulder or something. And there was another guy. I don't know if it was the pop can section or something like that where you return cans, but he was curled up. And how I knew he was there was a blood trail to him. And yeah, I actually don't know what else I've seen anymore. I've seen a lot, and I feel everything just got blurred out or something. I don't know what happened anymore. I don't even know why I went to the store sometimes.
Well, I thought, well, we kind of thought.
I went in there.
But just seeing it,
They say during those high trauma situations, those heavy stress situations, your brain tries to protect. Have trouble remembering what was happening during.
And then to the end.
Yeah,
I find myself dazing off, thinking about it, and so
Exactly were you, and then what was the first thing, what tipped you off the first screen, or what was it?
the man that yelled.
Yeah, there was a man, and it was. He said it too, because
Yeah,
it was serious. I was like, shit, what's going on? Where is it? Where is this guy? You know?
That's the story, just like it was one.
It felt
Like a group of people on a wave screaming, like going on a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it felt like
just like that.
Yeah, that guy, when he said the knife, it was like he said it, and that was the first initial sound we heard, and then it was screaming. We had no idea what was happening. So,
I just
Most
directed my
people-
attention that way.
Most people had been stabbed at that point.
Yep.
so
Back of the store.
if 11 people were stabbed, we would have only witnessed 3 of them. So he got all those other ones before us, before we had any idea what was going on. So,
Oh yeah.
To speculate.
There was people still coming into the store from the parking lot, which he could have been running by them and just doing what he did to the else.
yeah.
But he wasn't attacking people that were looking at him.
Do you know how long it took deputies to the Walmart from the time you heard the first
Within 3
scream?
minutes. Within 3 minutes.
So, put it is when I made the video, I thought they were going to kill him. So I thought, but then I think why? Because I'm like, I'm questioning now why I didn't continue videoing. I don't even know why, but I'm assuming. I think I heard all the police cars coming, and they came in like a force. Like you heard all of them coming,
Yeah.
and it's like now I knew the police were there. Guy had a gun. Guy's under control. Okay, where are these girls? I think that's how everything went. Yes, everything's still a kind of a blur, but I'm assuming that's how I thought.
I think his best story he told me is that he was standing there when the cops came in, and you could hear them coming, and they weren't playing around. They came full force, and he said that one of the cruiser's brakes were just smoke barreling off. So we know they weren't playing around either. And especially, you know, where else are you gonna protect the place you live? So if for anything to go down, it could have been any of their kids, any of their family, and you know. But they came in hot and full force, and not just deputies, Michigan State Police, the Traverse City Police, Sheriff's Department, EMS, firefighters, everything. It was covered quick. Everything was under.
Active.
04 to 08.
Where did you serve?
Camp Pendleton and Iraq.
Anybody else? Anything else that you guys want to add about this whole crazy situation?
I said before, the victims and their families all get better and seek help if they need it.
Yes,
And I hope
they all recover 100%.
and they get justice out of what he did. I hope it comes to that point where every one of them gets justice for what he caused, even the people that witnessed it. Everybody in Traverse City that was there, and friends and family all get the justice they deserve for it.
Also, that other guy with the shopping cart, he needs some credit. I haven't seen him surface anywhere. I have no idea. We didn't know who he was.
I'm sure he told me a name when I shook. I couldn't remember.
I know there's a video where I was like, after all of it, I was this video recording trucks and all that. I think I talked to him for like 3 seconds, and you could hear me in the video with him, but that's it.
I'm surprised there wasn't more people recording, but yet we still haven't seen Walmart's cameras either, so they're probably still.
Are you interested in seeing that? They said that most of the surveillance videos or most of the incidents were captured on.
I'd love to see that because I'd like to see what happened because I'm like, I remember what happened. At least I think I remember what happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it to see what. I mean, I don't really care to look all the way to the back of the store and see how he's doing, but what happened between me and him in the parking lot, and where Derek was at, and see, I hope that will bring a lot of light to what happened, and we can stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
They definitely are heroes. There's no doubt.
I think that's the thing too, right? You only because you wanted what happened in case something bad did happen.
Yeah.
You didn't do it to.
I thought the man's life was going to end.
He didn't run out
Yeah.
recording, He ran out behind me to help, and then when
Yeah.
Derek showed up with the pistol, that's when he pulled his phone up.
Yeah, the Derek and I'm pretty sure the cop car's coming at the same time.
I think you already mentioned this, but like you thought
or what was happening, he may have pulled the trigger because to a guy seeing what he did. If I had the gun, he wouldn't be being arraigned. I would have shot him. I would not.
Told me he would have stabbed that lady in front of me. I would have already.
I would have past the car. So it's just one of those things, man. You see that. All right, it's time to go.
Like I said before, he was at the distance between us that if he was at the distance between any other officer out there, he would already
Mm-hmm.
with a knife in his hand like that, with either tased or shot right away.
So Derek wasn't in the store with you guys and followed him out. He was outside of the store.
Actually, he
saw what was going on.
He told me that he was just at the range, practice. Was headed back to his car to go put it away, and that's when he noticed everything in front and come over to, pay for all of us.
But at that time, did he know that there was a whole stabbing situation going on?
I don't think so.
I don't think.
Maybe seen the lady on the ground in blood, and me over there beating him with a and then knew it was time. He saw the knife, and at that moment, he did the most appropriate thing. If you got a knife out there, you never bring a knife to a gunfight, and he won that battle. Even though he didn't have to pull the trigger, he used that. And like I said before, I think that guy he owes Derek a thanks, because if he would have came at us anymore, or anybody else would have been there, he probably wouldn't have survived. He probably would have been shot. Maybe survived, but I don't know where Derek was aiming. I would have been aiming, but at that distance. But
I also think I heard some people tried fighting him inside the store, but I don't know how that went. I would love to see how it all went. 10 seconds inside the store, that's all I know. How all that happened in a matter of that is beyond me.
Have everybody do that. I want to thank Matt and Chris for being able to do this today. One thing I would like to add, and that I see from my 30 years of law enforcement, I see it that is on the news and people are taking away or saying that, this person just filmed, or this person is just screaming, or this person had a gun. I think we have to look at the reality of it and put all of those things together. And what we're looking at here is that we had a chaotic situation with an individual that's going around stabbing everybody. But what these individuals way from him being so chaotic to a chaotic situation for themselves. So what they essentially did is that if you watch the videos, Matthew's doing loud verbal screaming commands, and what he's doing is that the suspect is now focused on Matthew. This guy has a weapon pointed at him. That guy is now focused on that weapon. And Chris is filming it because Chris is thinking, for the mere fact if this guy shoots, we have now video evidence of this that happened. So all that chaoticness now is around these three individuals. And that's perfect training in any scenario. You are training in getting that cast, loud verbal commands, getting it filmed, getting it on camera. You see search warrants now that when the police are doing, they have one person that's filming it. Why? Because we need video evidence. 2, Matthew's screaming and giving loud verbal commands. Why? He's creating that chaotic situation, having that man now focus on these three individuals and not being able to go back out and stab people. But watching these posts and saying and taking away from this one, taking away from, they are all three heroes. They all three did a phenomenal job, and they should be looked at upon that as heroes. They all had an intricate part in this to stop that. That could have been much worse if these guys weren't there. So I just wanted to add that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I get your ages?
I'm 43.
12 and 13.
I'm 39.
Oh, yeah.
I might be able to get the video from you.
Yeah.